Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is quoted as saying, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of convenience and comfort, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy." That's where we're at. Many of us have been awakened to the fact that America is full of systematic oppression for people of color. You now understand that there are things that have been set in place that prevent people that look like me from becoming great, all because of the color of our skin. And Martin Luther King says this, and I can't help but think that we've said this phrase for so long, all of 2020, silence is violence. And what I want to challenge you today is, when you come across those situations that you know that it is unjust, that it is not right, that something doesn't feel good, you feel that in your spirit, something's not right. Which side are you going to lean towards? Comfort, convenience, challenge, controversy. My hope is now that you're awake, you can't turn back. You can't go back to the other side where you were comfortable and everything was grand. My hope is that now that you've been awakened to the fact that things in this country aren't as they seem, that you decide to make the decision to speak up for what's right. And that your character will be shown through that. Leaning into controversy and challenging times doesn't mean that you have to always use your voice the way I use my voice. That means using your voice the best way that you know how, and that best fits your personality. For some people, it is getting in front of a camera and using their platform. For some people, it's through writing. Through some people, it's workshops. For some of you guys, it's having conversations with your family, hard ones. Teaching your kids to love people no matter what. No matter what. Those are the things that you can do to continue to push this conversation forward so that we can be great Americans. We can't be great Americans until everybody is on the same page, that everybody is equal. This quote from Dr. Martin Luther King makes me think of Moses in Exodus chapter 2. And we know his story, right? He was a Hebrew. His mother put him in a basket to save his life, sent him down the river. Not just like any little river, like a very violent river, right? And on the other side, royalty, Egyptian royalty is there. And he becomes a part of this family. Only God can do something like that, number one, right? But he grows up and he begins to understand that he's a Hebrew. And this is where he comes from. And then he understands that the people who look like him and that are his people, they're being mistreated left and right. And he decides, I can't handle this anymore. I can't not do something about that. And the reason why he decided to do something is because he leaned into God. He leaned into what God was telling him to do. He trusted what God was saying to him, even though he had some issues of his own. We know that he did. But he decided to use his platform and use his words and say, hey, Pharaoh, what you're doing to my people is not right. And I think we can use this example that happened in Moses' life, and we can use it in our lives. When your family member makes a racist joke, you can speak up. When you overhear microaggression at your workplace, you can speak up. When there's a teachable moment that comes across with your kids, you can speak up. Those are so many different ways that we can use our voice to, when we come to that crossroads, do we decide to stay comfort, convenience in our big la la land, or do we lean into hard things? Do we do what's right, even if it costs us friends on Facebook or friends in real life? I think the ultimate thing that we have to worry about losing is our life. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. gave his life for this very cause. He was a very hated man, all because he wanted our Black people to be treated equally. Another man that was also mistreated, and he came from a non-violent standpoint, was Jesus Christ. And so I just want to know, and I want to know, what would you do, or what are you going to do when these things happen around you, around your family, around your friends? Are you going to speak up? Are you going to use your words? Are you going to figure out what's the best way to have that hard conversation? Will you lean into what's hard, even though you know it's the right thing to do? I really hope so. On this Martin Luther King Day, I'm reflecting on all that Dr. King has taught. And he's taught about so many different things, but obviously I can't help but pinpoint where we are in our nation with the civil unrest. The very thing that he fought against was nonviolent protesting and demanding freedom. It's so sad that all these decades later, we're still doing the same thing. Hopefully, this will be a turning point in our country, that we can move forward with hard conversations. And there's so many different resources out there. I'll tag some below, different workshops that you can take and different books that you can read. There are so many different ways for you to learn how to do and be better when it comes to this topic. It's uncomfortable, it's hard, it's not easy, but what it does is it brings us closer together. So I pray that you guys were able to figure out which side you want to be on. Are you going to lean into comfort or lean into challenging times?